My name is Anthony Strayhorn, and I'm a transformational coach in the YourDay Balance Game.
And my name is Chanda Adeogba, and I'm the head abundant love relationship coach.
So today we're going to talk about gaslighting, and it's something that comes up in conversations with our clients, and it's one of those topics where it has so much meat and depth to it that it's important that we really talk about something like this, because it's going on all around the world in all kind of conversations and discussions. And you know, Chanda, I've had recent conversations with some of my clients about it, and you know, I know you have as well. So, you know, what's been your experience with gaslighting?
It's been really tough for my clients. I have one woman in particular who's dealing with it right now, and she just feels so disempowered. There's no way she can get her opinion or her feelings into the conversation because the other individual is just blocking it all the time. So one of the things I told her that she can do is use her breath. I said, because when things are going like that, you don't have the edge, so to speak. He's on momentum, he's gonna keep going with it. But if you calm yourself, if you get into your deep breathing, it gives you a moment. And in that moment, first of all, it throws him off because he's not sure what you're doing. It's not your normal pattern. So now he's a little less momentum. And then it gives you the opportunity to think about how you want to respond instead of that reactive response, which is always defensive. It's always emotional. You're in that high pitch in your voice. You feel like a child, all the things backed into the corner. Now you have a little bit more options. Okay, I know he's going to say this. I know he's going to do that. This is his pattern. I see the pattern. I don't have to go into my pattern the same way I always do. Breath is one of the most basic things, but it's so helpful. Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you?
Well, before I explain my own experience, I want to tell the viewers, if you're watching and you don't know what gaslighting is, let me just read you the actual dictionary version of it. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. So essentially, when someone attempts to try to so-called make you doubt yourself or question yourself in an experience of yourself. And what happens is that when there is a lack of clarity within the person's mind about themselves or what they stand for, that gaslighting energy can get in there and start to really create some unhealthy dynamics in relationships. You know?
Yeah, I've certainly experienced that myself before, yeah.
So, Chanda, how do you actually guide your clients on, you know, moving through gaslighting moments that they have in their relationships? What are some of the methods or techniques or ways in which they can, you know, navigate that? Yeah,
because one of the things we talk about a lot with my clients is understanding that these are all patterns. It's not even personal, it's a pattern. And there are a lot of people running those patterns. And sometimes the person themselves is running the pattern. And you know, you might be getting gaslighted by your spouse, and then you turn around and gaslight your kids. That happens, you know. So identifying the pattern is a big part. And then secondly, looking at where the person is successful with the gaslighting to the extent that you buy into what they're saying to you. So if a person is telling you your memory's off, and you're doubting your memory because there's certain things you keep forgetting. So now it seems kind of true what they're saying, and that buys in. Then you buy in. And in the process of you buying in, now their thing is running and it's starting to incept like a virus, just going digging down into your self-esteem and your self-worth. Next thing you know, you're like, well, dang, you know, I do kind of forget things. And that's how it goes. So we focus more on what you can do as an individual to shore yourself up and be clear who you are and confident in your self-worth, so that when those things come, you're not immediately susceptible to that coding.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. How about yourself? Because I'm sure that comes up with your clients as well.
Yeah, very similar to you. I'm really big on helping clients get a lot of clarity around what they stand on and what they value, so that before they even come into these conversations, they just have this solid fortitude within themselves.
Yeah.
So that when they see the pattern coming, because it's gonna come, you know, as it does, they can just sit still, be in peace, and just flow from there, as opposed to trying to react, which then gets them enrolled into this whole storm of this gaslighting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way which I approached them. And it, you know, depending on the dynamics, whether it's with a husband and a wife or a brother, sister, I might give them a slightly different direction on how they could approach it. And essentially, I'm still offering them the same kind of coaching, you know, as far as the essence of it.
Yeah.
I know for myself, you know, I have to check in sometimes just to make sure I'm not doing that. You know, as coaches, we have to check in with ourselves to make sure we're walking our talk. And it's a lot harder to look at yourself, and sometimes it's great to get feedback from the people that are around you. I have a wife, I have other family members, I have a community. So I'm part of a community where I get feedback in many different ways, in many different angles and capacities, so that I minimize this gaslighting experience that I could be generating in my conversations or relationships with people around me. So
I think it's important also to note, to your point, that gaslighting is not necessarily a sign that you're a narcissist. That word keeps getting flown around like very casually and without people fully understanding what it means. But gaslighting is a human pattern. It's what people do when they feel insecure and when they feel that like they're not in control and they want to get their control back. So I can attest to having done that with my children for sure. At times when they did mess up about something, but what I was on them about was not that thing. But I used that thing to bring into the current situation, and then they were not remembering that they did that other thing. And so they were like, wait, but that's not what we're talking about. And it was neat because I got to see where I was manipulating the situation, which you could say to their ultimate benefit, but it wasn't the most upstanding way to do it. And on the backside of it, I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it like that anymore. I don't like that. I don't like the way I feel using that as a tactic. And I certainly don't like the way it feels when people use it on me.
Yeah. It's well said. So we've talked about how gaslighting can look and how we can more effectively navigate it. And, if you're someone watching this and you want to, learn more about how you could potentially gain some tools to better move through gaslighting experiences, look us up. Put some comments down in this video. Ask some questions. We'll respond back and we'll go from there. And until then, stay powerful, stay loving.
We'll see you soon.